Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Sturgis, and I thought I would make a video on descriptive statistics that will help you when you start working on your fire project. So again, the information in these videos will not be on the quizzes or the exams. Again, the purpose is to help you when you actually need to run uh, analysis in SPSS. So I'll be working with the data file that we use for the in-class assignment. And so let me pull that up and we'll get started. So there's a couple of different ways to run descriptive statistics. The first way, if there's just one variable that you're interested in, you can select that variable, right-click it, and then go down to descriptive statistics. And it'll pull up the descriptive statistics for that one variable. Most of the time, however, you want to run descriptive statistics for more than one variable. So the most effective way to do that is you go up to the Analyze menu, go to Descriptive Statistics, select Descriptives, you pull over the variables that you're interested in, select the Options box, and make sure you've got the min, the max, the standard deviation, and the mean checked, which should be done by default. So you select continue, and then OK. And then on your output screen, you'll pull up your descriptive statistics. And a tip for you is that typically you're going to want to take this information and make it into a table. So you can select that, copy it as an Excel worksheet. Then you can pull up Excel, paste this into it, and then you can work with it that way and format it the way that you want it to look. So I'll point out a few things here on descriptive statistics. This is typically what you want to report is the min, the max, and those two values give you the range. The range is just the max minus the min. So in the case for age, the range is 89 minus 20, 69. You report the mean as your measure of central tendency by default. It's uncommon to report the median or the mode unless you have a specific reason for doing so. And then you report the standard deviation, which is a measure of how dispersed your values are, or do your values cluster around the mean, or are they spread out? I'll point out here that SPSS, it calculates the standard deviation for binary variables, but they're not useful. They're not interpretable. For example, with non-smoke, you're either 0 or 1. You're either a smoker or a non-smoker. And so this figure of 0.428 for standard deviation is not useful because, again, you're not clustering around a mean. You're either coded 0 or 1. So you typically don't report that. You want to get rid of those. And I'll give you an illustration here. Something that's useful with SPSS is that if you go up to the graphs menu, you can run a histogram all the way down at the bottom. You just select the variable that you're interested in. And if you select this checkbox here for display normal curve, it'll overlay the normal curve over your distribution. So just hit OK there. And as you can see, again, you're either at 0 or 1. So, it's not like you're clustering around the mean here in any way. Again, they're either coded 0 or 1, so the standard deviation of 0.428, it's not a useful piece of information. In contrast, if we do the same thing, and let's get rid of the no smoke variable, and let's look at age. In that case, you can see that standard deviation is useful. The mean is 49, and standard deviation is about 6. And as you recall from what you learned in class, about 99% of your cases should fall within 3 standard deviations above or below the mean. So 49. So if we take 16, multiply that by 3, we'll round that to 15 to make the math easy. So I give you about 45. So you can see that our values that it's not quite normally distributed, but it's fairly close. In any case, it kind of illustrates why it makes sense to run standard deviation for a continuous variable like age, but not for a binary variable. In any case, I hope you found this video to be useful, and if you need help with anything, feel free to reach out. Take care.